Matt Seaver, Matt the Electrician, welcome back to eTown.
Thank you so much.
It's been a bit. It's been a while, yeah. I think, 7 or 8 years or something like that. It's been a while.
It's been 9 years and 1 month and 29 days.
Oh, yeah.
I have a very specific anniversary associated with playing here.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Hopefully it was a positive one.
It was. The night after I played here, after the show, I had a cigarette, and it was my last cigarette.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And
so not only am I likened to a dentist, I'm likened to a sort of a detox kind of a place.
It was one of those things you try to quit things or you try to change your life, and then it's always these weird little things that you don't kind of see coming. And you and I were walking from here over to the hotel down the road, and you said so. I was rolling a cigarette, and you said something about like, "Oh yeah, I kind of remember doing that. That was kind of fun when I did that. Kind of dumb too." And I mean, it wasn't like I was already around the age where I was like, I got to quit doing this. But it's something about it stuck. And the next morning I got up and I didn't have one. And then the next morning I didn't have one. And,
I remember that conversation actually because when I was a dumb person and wanted to quit smoking cigarettes, I started rolling cigarettes. And then it got into the point where I could just go to the bar and roll cigarettes and not light them. And that was like a pathway to stopping.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that.
You may have said that. That might have been exactly what stuck, yeah.
Well, so let me start over and just say, Matt the Electrician, welcome back to eTown.
Thank you so much, Nick.
And I'm really happy to reconnect. We were talking a little bit backstage, and I know that, in the years since we've seen each other, your hometown has changed a lot. More traffic, more billionaires, more journalists.
Really?
Yes.
There's more journalists?
No. There's just podcasters.
Oh, right. Yeah, there's a lot of new stuff. And a lot of the billionaires are in traffic. Like you see them, when there was only one of those crazy new trucks, you knew it was his. And so you'd see him driving down the street and you could see him sitting in the car. It was like, there he is. Yeah.
Him being Elon.
Sure.
Yeah. Whose name shall not be mentioned, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I thought maybe we had to sign paperwork or something.
No. We are not carried by Starlink, as far as I know. No, but your town has changed a lot. But the music scene has always been so vibrant and so cool and so personal. And we have a lot of friends in common who are part of that great music scene. We also talked a little bit about baseball. You're a big baseball fan.
Yes, huge.
And you're also a baseball player now.
Yes, I'm a mediocre baseball player, but I am late in life, I suppose. I am a baseball player.
But you were telling me about this thing like Sandlot Baseball. There's a thing that's actually kind of catching on around the country, which is informal co-ed baseball teams that play each other in different towns, and you're part of that.
Yeah, there's barnstorming. Teams travel around and play other teams. In the music world, there's actually one of the teams in Austin, the Texas Playboys, that kind of helped to start rekindle this baseball thing.
Which, of course, is Bob Wills' band's name.
Right, exactly. And they have this beautiful park there that is called The Long Time. And they have a stage, and so I became aware of it because my wife worked with them a little bit, and then they asked me to come out and play the 7th inning stretch. And so I got to come out and play Take Me Out to the Ball Game, but they have bands all through the game. So there's a stage, and there's kind of announcers, and people are sitting around watching the game, and there's dogs and kids. And the game is, it's achingly slow because nobody's very good. And it just goes on forever, and it's the long time. And there's one of the days I went out there to watch baseball, Jack White has a team in Nashville, and he's so into it that he has slowly but surely built his whole crew on his bus and his band into like ringers. Like he's got single A guys and guys that played college ball that are his roadies and stuff.
Wow.
And so they'll book a gig. They'll book like Austin. They'll play, ACL Live or something, but they'll leave 2 days on either side to play baseball games.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You may not know this, but in the early days of Bill Monroe's career with the Bluegrass Boys, he traveled. They didn't just carry their instruments; they carried a tent.
Yep.
And they would put up a tent and bleachers, and they would set up and challenge the local baseball team and his guys.
They were very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. My understanding is that Johnny Gimbel could hit. That's what I understand. Yeah.
Well, anyway, so you're on a team.
Yes.
And what's your team called?
My team is called the Austin Drag.
The Austin Drag.
Yeah.
And curiously, for those listening, it's got a picture of a cigarette on it.
Sort of a cigarette.
Maybe a cigarette. Yeah.
There's like a triple entendre going on.
Yeah.
The Austin Drag is the only Austin LGBTQ and allies team, and also they're high all the time.
Yeah.
From what I understand. So.
And do you travel to other places?
Yeah, we just did a barnstorming trip to San Diego. We went out and played the Avocados and the Tiburones. It was.
And then I understand you were like on a pickup game in California one time where you played in a prison or something like that?
Yes. I got invited to go with the Playboys because my wife is buddies with them, and they knew we're both San Francisco fans, and I was born in San Francisco and a lifelong Giants fan. Thank you. And so we got invited to go out, and we played a local team in the park, in Golden Gate Park, and then but the day before we went into San Quentin Prison and we played the prison team.
Wow.
And it's the San Quentin Giants is what they are right now.
Wow. How did that game go?
They beat us 26-0. They stopped keeping score in the 8th inning. It was 20-0. But we know that it was 26-0. But one of the coolest parts about that for me was that when it was being planned, you have to they run a background check on you, like anyone that goes into the prison, and you have to sign a waiver that's you're acknowledging that they have a non-hostage negotiation policy. So if anything were to go wrong, they're not going to negotiate for your life.
Wow.
So it's a little heavy for a baseball game.
Yeah.
But so I was getting ready to, as it got closer and closer, I would kind of joke about it with people. And then I thought, well, I ought to call my dad and at least just check in one more time before I go into the prison. And so I said, Dad, this is what I'm going to do next week. And my dad's father, my grandfather, was a baseball player in the 1930s. He played for the San Francisco Seals from 1933 to 35 with Joe DiMaggio.
Wow.
He was the leadoff hitter, starting shortstop when DiMaggio batted cleanup and played, I think, left field at the time. And so I told my dad that, and he said, oh, man, your grandpa played in San Quentin Prison. And I have the newspaper somewhere around here, and he found the newspaper, the San Quentin News, and it had my grandfather went in with a team called the Oakland Oak. No, it wasn't the Oakland Oaks, the Oakland Greyhounds, and they went in 1939, and they lost also by quite a bit. And my grandfather played second base, and he struck out when the Greyhounds were like kind of mounting a rally, and he struck out. And I thought, my grandfather is really smart to like strike out in that pivotal moment against the prison team.
Yeah.
That was pretty good thinking. So when I went into San Quentin, it was 85 years after my grandfather was there, and I played second base for an inning, and I struck out.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, so your dad obviously had no concern for your welfare at all, saying you can go into the prison and there's no hostage negotiation policy. And so he was just like, oh, cool, you're doing what my dad did.
I think he figured Grandpa made it out.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, have you ever been injured playing baseball in such a way that you couldn't play guitar?
No. Not yet.
Okay, cool. I know Frank Zappa, among others, had rules like no sports on the road because people would get hurt.
Yeah, I'm more and more lately. I'm prioritizing the sports. Like, it's cool that I can also play gigs. I enjoy that, but the sports have to come first.
Wow. All right. Well, so if we're in Austin, can we come to one of these games? We can go to the Long Time is a spot. There's also, we play at kind of a municipal field called Go Valley Field, and there's a new field down in Lockhart, Texas called the Wishing Well, and it's patterned after the Long Time. And they have incredible barbecue in Lockhart, Texas. So if you're ever down there and you want to go to Kreutz's. All right, so all of this music is sort of a pathway, a gateway drug to this entire other
I had a similar. I was listening to Haley's interview, and I had a similar epiphany, if you will, during the pandemic, and just I thought all of this is crumbling, and I just want to watch baseball games, and so more, and I realized that if I just kind of went out on the road and played more house concerts and directly kind of got in touch with my fans and said, do you want me to come and play your backyard or your living room or whatever, I could do more of that and then just go see baseball games. And it's been a really enjoyable way to approach the music industry. Yeah.
Are do any house concerts ever get awkward?
I think they all have the possibility of getting awkward. You just have to, you just have to be on your toes a little bit. And it doesn't bother me. I'm pretty extroverted and I like being around people. Yeah. And I will say, over the last 2 years, I've now played a couple house concerts that have turned into annual events with, it turns out, baseball fans who now take me to baseball games. Oh, cool.
That's great. Yeah. Do you have to negotiate hostage protocol in somebody's house concert? Probably not.
It's all worked out. It's all worked out okay so far.
That's great.
I'm
and
hoping.
How old are your kids now?
My kids are 24 and 20.
And are they going to be either musicians or athletes?
No. No. They're not doing either thing.
Okay.
My daughter is a huge baseball fan, though, and so getting to occasionally hook up with her on the road and go to games.
Yeah. That's great. Well, listen, it sounds like a very, very delightful trajectory that you've gone from electrician to performing artist to sports fan / house concert, baseball enabling house concert person.
Baseball enabling house concerts. That's really the tagline for what I hope the rest of my life is.
Oh, that's cool. But before you get to that, you're going to have to play some more music tonight.
Okay.
Right now.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right.
Okay.
Welcome back, if you would, Matt the Electrician, to the stage here at eTown.